Now at 9, multiple people are injured in a house fire in Parsons, Kansas.
Residents in Weir, Kansas are dealing with issues when it comes to their trash service. So much so that the city is now having to pick up the slack. I'm Anthony Saviello. I'll have more coming up.
And how the Cherokee County 4-H is raising money for new building upgrades.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Police in Parsons, Kansas are looking to interview Good Samaritans who helped during a house fire this afternoon. Firefighters responded to the fire just after 3:30 this afternoon. The police department says multiple victims have been transported by air flight to Tulsa, including children. The fire was in the 300 block of South 22nd Street. The police department calls this a multi-agency investigation and are looking for information from anyone who may have assisted residents before first responders arrived. Police also say a man was arrested at the scene on an unrelated warrant. The city of Weir says it has had long delays in service from one of the sanitation companies, and now officials are having to dish out money to keep the streets clean. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
It's happened more than once, them being late, and of course, you know, you can't have bags laying around town. You know, you have stray dogs that might, you know, get in the trash and strew it all over the place, and I don't want that for my town.
CARD's trash service is one of 4 that residents in Weir have to choose from, and it's the only one residents are having a problem with. Have you had any issues with any of your other 3 services at all?
We have not. We have not.
However, the overflow of trash has gotten so out of hand, the city now has to pick up the tab.
We went ahead and got arrangements to get a roll-off where our residents can get rid of their overflowing trash so we don't get it all over our streets. Some people are laying bags next to their bins because they're full.
Mayor of Weir, Joe Tavanero, says he hopes to see a change for his town.
I hope they meet their obligations. If they say they're going to come and pick up on Wednesday, you know, I hope to see them here on Wednesdays picking up the trash.
The dumpster will still be available for residents this Friday. However, it is not a permanent solution. So if residents continue to have to wait for service, they may have to seek other solutions, including changing the service that's provided to them. Reporting in Weir, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Well, last time we covered issues with CARD's trash service, we reached out for additional questions, but still have not heard back from the company. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm one today. Temperatures all the way up into lower 80s for highs, but right where we should be. Our average high is 83. Today was 83. We started at 67 during the morning hours, and it's still mild outside. 72 in Nevada, Anderson, 73 in Stockton. Grand Lake sitting at 73, Miami 75, Pittsburgh 73. We have Oswego sitting at 76 degrees. Nothing going on. We have clear skies. We're going to see pretty much clear skies through the overnight hours for us tonight. We'll drop back into the 60s, eventually down to about 61 degrees for an overnight low, and then we're going to rebound to 75 by 10 a.m. Could see a few random little showers tomorrow, and we'll look at our next bigger system, all coming up here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the Columbus City Council announces it has selected Kyle Clark to serve as the next chief of police. Clark is a lifelong resident of Cherokee County who has served the police department for more than a decade. He's served multiple roles within the department over the years and holds numerous law enforcement professional certifications, as well as Bachelor of Science degrees in criminal justice and justice studies. He replaces Chief Jason Daniels, who died last month after a battle with cancer. Daniels served the community for more than 20 years. The Kansas Department of Revenue wants to remind people that all embossed license plates are being replaced this year. The department says the current embossed plates have deteriorated and can pose a challenge for law enforcement. If you have an embossed plate, your renewal will be flagged and you'll receive a temporary tag and a decal when you renew your registration. We'll have more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Cherokee County, Kansas 4-H Today raised money for building improvements. The organization hosted a barbecue meatball dinner and a silent auction of items including yard games, clothing, home decor, and fresh produce. Officials say the money raised will help update the building's kitchen, provide new bathroom cabinets, new windows, and cabinets for trophies and plaques.
So we've had a lot of people who came through and have seen the updates that we've done over the last year, and they've been really excited about it. The walls have been the same since 1990, so what is that, 30 some years? So they really need it updated, and the fans didn't match, and so they matched. They were missing blades, so we've been able to get those updated.
So the ceiling definitely is a big plus, and our new fans that go along to help out in the summer, especially when we're out here during July. It's pretty hot. It used to be really hot in here.
The kids in the 4-H program helped run the event as part of a learning experience. The city of Miami kicked off camp season this week. The Miami Summer Recreational Program brought the kids out to the Miami Civic Center for a ton of fun and activities. And most of the fun for the summer program will take place at the Civic Center, but kids can also expect some field trips and swimming. Other things kids can expect: making new friends.
It's run by the city. So there's not very many cities that offer recreational programs for their children, especially ones that don't cost an arm and a leg. So to have this type of program and to be able to offer it to our families, it's just a remarkable thing that we can do for our community.
The program runs through the month of June. For a full schedule, just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. Little Library patrons in Chanute headed down a rabbit hole today. The Chanute Public Library hosted a Mad Hatter tea party. The event featured Mary Berry tea, listening to a reading of Alice in Wonderland, and, well, just having fun.
So it's been going on a really long time. They read the part of of Alice in Wonderland where they go down the rabbit hole, and we have Mary Berry tea and cookies, and they do a little craft, and it's always really fun.
Now, that group of kiddos ranged in age from 3 to 7. Sounds like fun. Well, coming up, why the rising temperatures could cause issues for some medications. As the temperature rises, so does the risk of heat-related illnesses, and certain medications can make a person even more vulnerable when it's hot outside. Mandy Gaither has more on which medications do not mix well with heat and precautions to take to stay safe.
High temperatures, heat, and humidity can all affect the body, but some medications can pose an added danger.
Medications that decrease the body's ability to shunt blood out to the skin and then sweat off that fluid to help release a lot of that heat. That's really why they predispose to heat illness overall.
Emergency medicine Dr. Kevin Watkins with Cleveland Clinic says medications that can cause heat intolerance include diuretics, heart medications like blood pressure drugs, antihistamines, decongestants, antibiotics, antidepressants, and antipsychotics.
We worry most about heat stroke, especially when there are heat waves.
Everyone can protect against extreme heat by wearing loose-fitting clothing, keeping your house cool by covering windows, finding air conditioning in a public place if your home doesn't have it, avoiding strenuous activities outdoors in high heat, and staying hydrated.
If you get dehydrated, you're really hurting your body's ability to get rid of that heat as well.
Heat can also degrade medication, so experts say make sure to store medicine properly.
In a place that is, away from sunlight, that is cool, in a bathroom, ideally in a closed area.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you're at higher risk for heat-related issues, talk to your doctor and seek medical help right away if you're vomiting or symptoms are worsening. New research from University College London reveals adolescents diagnosed with internet addiction undergo brain changes that can fuel even more addictive behavior. The study also finds internet addiction can harm mental health, social relationships, academics, and career prospects. Researchers encourage young people to limit their internet usage. Americans are concerned about health care affordability as they get older. According to the West Health Gallup 2024 survey, On aging in America, 73% of Americans under 65 worry Medicare will not be available when they need it. And the numbers back it up. Medicare's trust fund is set to deplete in 2036. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, some young wrestlers get a chance to learn from collegiate athletes as NEO hosts a wrestling camp.
Well, of course, not a bad day for us today. Temperatures, they were warm as we went all the way up into the middle 80s during the afternoon. We got some rain last night across the area, about 1/10 of an inch since midnight, a little bit more prior to that, but some areas didn't get much at all. But we have a little over 1/4 of an inch for the month. For the year, about 17.5 inches of rain. We do have a deficit of 2 inches for the year. We want to watch that as we get into our drier months. June is still pretty wet for us, but definitely July, August, and September are some of our drier months. Looks good. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. We are looking downtown off toward the north and to the east. Temperatures not bad, 69 in Monette, 73 at Grand Lake, 75 in Independence, Pittsburgh sitting at 73, Stockton checking in at about 73 degrees. Let's go outside. Here's 7th and Range Line, 69. Winds are pretty much calm, humidity at 70%. We'll get near that dew point once again for us tonight. But clear skies, this is what we're going to see tonight. We do have a weak little wave out to our west. So you can see this big ridge of high pressure. So we get these fast moving waves that drop in. We're going to get one little one tomorrow that will give us some clouds and maybe spit out a couple showers late morning into the early afternoon. But besides that, overall, we are looking pretty good. So let's walk through time. Clear skies tonight. We drop back right around 60. As we go through the morning, a few clouds and a few random showers start to pop up and then push east once we get into the afternoon. High temps, 83 in Lamar, 85 in Coffeyville, Miami 86. Stockton up to about 83 degrees. Tomorrow night, not too much going on, pretty calm. A little cooler actually, look at this, upper 50s by Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon we heat up again. We go right back into the mid to upper 80s for afternoon highs, so it's going to be even hotter on Friday. Friday night, we got to watch for a complex of showers and thunderstorms that will try to drop in. So here's 9:30 p.m. Some of these storms could be strong, maybe low grade severe, very similar to what we saw last night. Pushing in late evening into the overnight hours. If we had anything severe, the main risk here would be gusty winds and some hail. And then most of these should be out of here by the time we get into Saturday morning. But we could do it again Saturday night and then heading into Sunday morning. Let's go down the road just a bit. We're switching into that more summer-like pattern. Jet stream's getting weaker. It's lifting farther north. We get these fast-moving waves like we're going to see this weekend. But as we get into early next week, we get in a northwest flow, so the air kind of out of Canada, and that's actually going to cool us down just a little bit by the time we head into Sunday and Monday. 63 to start, random shower, late morning, early afternoon, and then sunny skies late in the day. High temp right around 84 degrees. Friday 86, thunderstorms Saturday morning, and then again Saturday night into Sunday morning. Temperatures, look at this, 79 Sunday, 78 on Monday, so pretty nice. And then a slow warming trend as we go through next week. Not a whole bunch of weather going on next week. I'll be at a weather conference out of town, so I don't have to worry about severe weather when I'm out of town.
That's good, because we know you'd be watching even if you're out of town.
I'd be freaking out.
You always have your eye on it, and we appreciate that.
Yep.
So you're leaving, and we're gonna have cooler temperatures?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, bring them back with you.
I'll try.
Bring them back. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the city of Joplin wants to remind you the community is offering 2 public swimming locations this summer. Both Schifferdecker and Cunningham Aquatic Centers will be open for the season. In addition, Parks and Staff has announced family swim dates to provide more options for families visiting the aquatic centers. Family swim is held periodically from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at either or sometimes both aquatic centers. That's an extension of normal hours to accommodate busy families. Admission prices are the same as for normal business hours. The first family swim night will be this coming Friday at both sites, and you can find the full schedule for family swim nights at KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, with the temperatures rising, we look at what that could mean for your utility bill. More data released today highlights the U.S. labor market is cooling. Private sector employers added an estimated 152,000 jobs in May. That's according to payroll processor ADP. That's well below economist expectations. It's also a large pullback from the 188,000 jobs added in April. Walmart employees are getting a boost. The retail giant says it's offering a new bonus for eligible full and part-time hourly workers. Depending on how long the employee stays with Walmart, they could see a bonus of up to $1,000 a year. Walmart says its hourly wage has increased by about 30%, with the average approaching $18 an hour. The retailer says it's also testing a program to address the shortage of skilled trade workers in the U.S. Well, the official start of summer is still a few weeks away, but some parts of the country are already experiencing July-like temperatures, and the extreme heat is driving up utility costs. Gene Sullivan has details on how much more you can expect to pay to stay cool this summer.
As summer temperatures rise, so is the cost to stay cool, and the record heat is driving up utility bills.
Summer temperatures are just going one direction, and that's up. And that's what I think is so tough for families.
According to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association and Center for Energy Poverty and Climate, consumers can expect to pay an average of $719 from June through September just to keep their home cool. That's an increase of nearly 8% from last year.
It is higher than it was last year, and it's higher than it was before the pandemic because it's hotter.
It's the first week of meteorological summer, and already parts of the country are seeing triple-digit temperatures. More than 17 million Americans in California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona are under excessive heat warnings through the end of the week. And that means it will cost more to stay cool.
All signs point to this summer being hotter than last year. Will it be a record? It could well be.
The rising temperatures have become a serious health concern. Last year, 2,302 people died from heat-related deaths, according to the Department of Health and Human Services. There are things you can do to help lower your bills without jeopardizing your health, like raising a thermostat a few degrees.
Every 1 degree you reduce your air conditioning use, it lowers your energy bill by 3%.
Wolf also recommends lowering your blinds during the day, installing overhead fans, and making sure to replace filters on your AC units to ensure they're running efficiently. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Up next, we'll check out the launch of Boeing's Starliner space shuttle after years of setbacks. After years of setbacks and delays, Boeing has finally launched 2 NASA astronauts into space. The Starliner capsule lifted off from the Kennedy Space Center with astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams on board. It was their 3rd try after the last 2 attempts were scrubbed for safety concerns. Boeing designed and built Starliner, but it's years behind schedule and more than $1 billion over budget.
Surprise to many, Boeing has a decades-long history of expertise in spaceflight, but they've really had problems with the Starliner. Now, the recent delays they've had were due to the rocket, the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket. These were more run-of-the-mill mechanical glitches that were fairly easily fixed.
The Starliner is on its way to the International Space Station, where the astronauts will spend a little more than a week. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. A Joplin Medical Clinic is sending aid for storm recovery efforts in central Oklahoma. Plus, we'll check out some of the D-Day anniversary events around the globe.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. A Joplin Medical Clinic is sending mobile aid to the community of Enid, Oklahoma, as they recover from severe storms. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The community of Eden, Oklahoma is still recovering from May 19th severe storms. The local clinic, Great Salt Plains Health, building was damaged by high winds and hail, crippling their medical abilities. However, the community of Joplin, Missouri knows a thing or two about recovering from severe weather.
Since we've been through the tornado here, we know what it's like.
Placed because of flooding within the clinic from rain, subsequent rain after the hail event, and so just have a big mess in that clinic. So this is going to be extremely helpful to bring care to the Enid area.
Access Family Care in Joplin is sending their mobile medical unit 250 miles west to provide health care in their parking lot. GSP's Health says they can still assist the community while repairing the roof and internal damage.
In the process of getting the roof replaced, and that's after 2 weeks, that's nearly done. Should be done in the next few days. And then the inside damage will take months to repair.
It's going to be as long as they need it. So we got an agreement already for 90 days. If they need longer than that, then we'll just re-up that.
According to Access Family, the mobile medical unit was purchased for situations like this.
CARES Act federal funding that came to some local counties. So McDonald County, Newton County, and Barton County all joined in together, pooled their money to help us purchase this. And this is what it's for community events and for emergencies.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Now, Great Salt Plains Health also has clinics in Canton, Cherokee, and Medford, Oklahoma. Well, the Senate today failed to pass a bill that would guarantee access to contraception nationwide. Now, Republicans blocked the bill, claiming it is unnecessary and overly broad. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer also voted against it, using the procedural move to allow the chamber to bring it up again at another time. The Right to Contraception Act would enshrine into federal law a right for individuals to buy and use contraceptives, including birth control, pills, and condoms. Hunter Biden's ex-wife took the witness stand today as prosecutors try to prove the president's son was a drug user when he applied to buy a gun in 2018. The testimony from the prosecution's first witness, an FBI agent, wrapped up this morning with cross-examination by the defense. The president's son faces 3 felony charges stemming from the purchase of a gun, in which he said on the application he was not a drug user. Well, dozens of World War II veterans from the U.S., United Kingdom, and Canada are in Normandy this week to mark 80 years since D-Day. The invasion in Nazi-occupied France helped end the war and liberate Western Europe from Hitler's control. The fight came at a heavy cost, which veterans still honor and remember today. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has the story.
A somber tribute to fallen heroes in France. Dozens of U.S. World War II veterans lining up in wheelchairs to lay roses at what was then called Utah Beach. More than 150,000 Allied troops stormed the coast in Normandy on June 6, 1944, on what is known as D-Day, the largest air, land, and sea invasion in history.
I wasn't afraid. I was buoyed up by the event happening.
While the invasion and the battles that followed would help lead to the end of World War II, it came at a heavy cost. Tens of thousands of Allied soldiers lost their lives. This week, vets from the U.S., Britain, and Canada came together to honor their fallen friends, including their enemies on the other side.
You know, we strut around and say, well, we beat the Germans. But the Germans lost thousands of men, you know, and they had families just like me.
Part of the day also included parades and reenactments, including one where hundreds of paratroopers from several nations parachuted into a historic D-Day drop zone in France. Over in the UK, veterans were honored at a major ceremony that included King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and the Prime Minister.
It is our duty to ensure that we and future generations do not forget their service and their sacrifice in replacing tyranny with freedom.
President Biden will also be paying his respects to fallen veterans at ceremonies near the beaches of Normandy on Thursday. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Well, a bit later, technology to ease loss.
A growing number of companies are hoping their artificial intelligence software can help people mourn after losing a loved one. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at the unique prospect coming up.
Well, not a bad day for us today. Temperatures actually pretty good. It is warming up. We did go into low to mid 80s during the afternoon. We're dropping back. We're going to get to that dew point later on tonight. So it's going to be dewy out there after midnight and then into the morning hours. But it looks good. Here's our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. So we are looking downtown Joplin, northeast through downtown. And as we go through the rest of the evening hours, it's shaping up pretty good. All right, low to mid 70s. Case in point, 72 Neosho. Grand Lake 74, Parsons 74. Nevada is sitting at 71 degrees, and eventually we will drop back into the lower 60s for low. 69, pretty much calm winds. Pressure is steady, 29.78 inches of mercury and holding steady. Visibility also looking pretty good. But clear skies, not a whole bunch going on. We do have one little weak wave that is going to produce some showers in central parts of Nebraska and then kind of head toward us late tonight and through the daytime hours tomorrow. What that's going to do for us is give us some clouds and a few random showers. We have this big ridge of high pressure, which is building, very typical as you get into the summer months. Same pattern, storm systems still come in on the same cycling weather pattern. They just shift up to the north with the jet stream that is weakening, but we get these weak little waves that rotate around the area of high pressure, and we're going to get one of those weak ones for us tomorrow. All right, lower 60s by morning. Here come a few clouds, and you can see a few spotty showers, so don't be surprised if you get a quick shower late morning into the early afternoon, and then it's going to push off toward the east. High temps into low to mid 80s. Tomorrow night, clear skies, looks good, light northerly winds, a little bit cooler actually. We drop back into the mid to upper 50s, so it's going to be a very comfortable night. And then as we go into Friday, kind of hot, 86, 87 degrees. Now, Friday night, we want to keep our eyes on another one of those waves are going to roll in. It's going to be very similar to what we had last night. Complex of storms drives in after dark. Watch them develop. So here's about 10 p.m. kind of developing to the west of Kansas City and then driving in. So getting in here 11, 12 o'clock, sliding through the metro. Once we get into after midnight Saturday night, or Friday night, and then out of here by Saturday morning. But again, Saturday night into Sunday morning, we're most likely going to do the exact same thing. Things get a little bit better. Once we get these waves kind of passing by as we go into the weekend, we get a northwest flow, meaning the flow's out of Canada, and that's actually going to cool us down just a hair early next week. 63 in the morning, 81 by noon, few showers, 84 for a high. Once we get into the afternoon hours, 86 on Friday, 83 Saturday, 79 on Sunday. We are going to have some hit and miss storms over the weekend. They're mainly going to be nocturnal, so it's not really going to affect too much during the day. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday look really nice next week.
Who doesn't like to sleep to the sound of rain? Well, maybe some people, but I do.
If it's not too loud, right?
Yeah, if it's not too loud. Sometimes a big thunderclap's like, whoa. Yep. All right, thanks, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, coming up in sports, the final round of the Women's College Series begins in Oklahoma City. Plus, NEO holds its annual wrestling camp. Brock Baldridge has those stories and more.
The Northeastern A&M wrestling team is in the middle of their off-season, and that allows the team to spend some time this summer by hosting their annual youth wrestling camp. Hundreds of youth wrestlers from all over the 4 states take part in the 3-day camp at the NEO Fieldhouse. It gives the opportunity for kids high school age or younger to spend 3 days and 2 nights on campus to sharpen their skills and face top competition in front of college coaches.
We just wanted to create something for local people, local guys to come to and wrestle. They didn't have to spend so much money, and make it a good situation, some good summer wrestling for them. And nobody's going to earn a scholarship here today. Nobody's going to win a national title or a state title here, but it's the fight, it's the constant getting better and things like that they are going to learn.
Well, the St. Louis Cardinals come in the day only won 1 of their last 5 games, and despite the struggles this season, the Cardinals are only 3 games below 500. Cardinals at Houston taking on their old NL Central rivals. Top of the 5th. St. Louis leads 2-0. Alec Burleson ropes this down the line for extra bases. Donovan scores, and the Redbirds lead 3-0. We go to the bottom of the 5th now. Yainier Diaz shoots this one the other way to the short porch in right field, and that will leave the ballpark for a solo home run. Astros make it a 3-1 game. Very next batter to the plate, Trey Cabbage. He sends this ball into orbit, and this ball is going to land in the bullpen. The Astros get back in the game after back-to-back solo home runs. It's now only a 3-2 Cardinals lead. So we go to the top of the sixth. Well, it's about time this guy gets going. Nolan Arenado hits a rocket into the Crawford boxes for a solo bomb. Cardinals bounce back in the series finale. St. Louis wins 4-2. Meanwhile, the Joplin Outlaws are winners of 4 straight games, but their game tonight that was scheduled was postponed due to inclement weather. It's the second straight game postponed by weather for the Outlaws. Now Joplin will continue the road trip as they face the Piney Woods Timberhogs tomorrow night. Well, we've reached the final round of the Women's College World Series, a rematch of last year's title game between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns, and OU is looking to become the first team in history to win 4 straight softball titles. In the series best of 3 games, well, Oklahoma does what they do best. They currently lead the Texas Longhorns 7-3 in the 7th inning against their Red River rivals. In NFL news, the Kansas City Chiefs agreed to a contract with their 2024 first-round draft pick Xavier Worthy. He signs a 4-year, $13.8 million deal. And with a 5th-year option, Worthy is just a rookie as he was selected as the 28th overall pick by the Chiefs in April out of the University of Texas. So obviously good news for the Chiefs signing their rookie draft picks. And also it's great to have, with OTAs wrapping up, before you know it, it's going to be training camp. So a lot of Chiefs players are really excited for that.
Yeah, who doesn't get excited about Chiefs games? Well, I suppose if you're not a Chiefs fan, but why not?
Why not? Exactly, yes.
So do you have any predictions on the Oklahoma-Texas game?
Well, obviously OU is going to win their first game, so
Yeah.
I do think they'll wrap it up and win that 4th straight. So getting that 1-0 lead is really important.
All right. We'll be back with more news after this. Processing the loss of a loved one is a uniquely emotional and personal experience. And while everyone processes their grief in different ways, a growing number of companies are embracing the power of AI in hopes of helping people connect to those no longer physically here. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty takes a closer look at one of those platforms.
At their home in a peaceful suburb of Berlin, Germany, Michael and Annette Baumer sit comfortably on their couch reflecting on the future. It's a heart-wrenching task because Michael is terminally ill with colon cancer.
She said, "Michael, one of the things I'm really going to miss is that I could always come to you, sit down with you, ask you a question, and you explained everything to me."
Looking for a way to have those conversations continue after he's gone, Michael reached out to his friend, the CEO of the AI platform called Eternos.
I don't see it as a closing gift. I see it as closure for me.
Eternos works to transform a living person's voice into an interactive AI model people can speak to. And it starts by having someone record hundreds of different sayings.
We have you say 300 different phrases that capture, I'll call it your emotional voice. We capture all that and then we compress all that and make an AI out of it. It takes about 2 days of compute to make that into you, and that becomes your voice.
A person can then record their answers to different prompts, so the AI can learn even more about their opinions, memories, and personality. The AI uses what it learned, as well as information it gathered from online, to provide appropriate responses to questions in the person's voice. While Michael is excited about this prospect, his wife is still coming to terms with it.
I think to myself, I'd rather be sitting here with his favorite jumper with a glass of wine than feeling the need to talk to the AI.
For now, it'll cost you $15,000 to have Eternos create your AI voice. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Well, it's been 40 years since we learned the rules of the Gremlins. Coming up, we'll hear from one of the film stars about its lasting legacy. Don't feed them after midnight and keep them away from water. It's been 4 decades since we learned the rules of Gremlins. To mark this movie milestone, we're joined by actor, host, and comedian Howie Mandel for a look back at the making of and legacy of the classic. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
He hates bright lights.
Horror comedy Gremlins has been in the bright lights of Hollywood for 40 years. Howie Mandel, who voiced Gizmo, reflected on how fellow voice star Frank Welker encouraged him to audition.
He was working on Bobby's World with me, so I just went in and auditioned. And basically, to be honest with you, the Gremlin, the Gizmo voice, is the same voice that I did for Bobby, is the same voice that I did for Skeeter. You know, I was Skeeter on the Muppet Babies. So Skeeter talk like this, and Bobby talk like this.
Mandel spoke about creating Gizmo.
The movie is done, and I get to sit with Joe Dante, the director of the movie and producer. We, for all intents and purposes, kind of improvised.
Could you have imagined that the film would go on to become the classic that it has been?
No, I got to tell you, like even today, wherever I go, I don't think 24 hours goes by when I'm not being asked to sign a Funko of Gizmo or a picture of Gizmo or being asked to do the voice.
We've talked a long time about Gremlins 3. There was that Max animated series, so maybe that's a step. What do you know about this continuing?
I would love it. I'm available. I was upset about that Max animated thing because they didn't even call me. I would have been there in a heartbeat. But if they ever call me and Joe wants me to do, or anybody that's doing this, even the fact that I'm doing this interview, anything to do with Gremlins, I love that I'm involved in a small way, and it's a highlight of my career.
Don't ever feed him after midnight.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Never. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of hyenas at the Oakland Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.